Hello and welcome to episode 1170 of The Sleeper and the Bust. It is Friday, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, and I'm your host, Paul Sporer, joined this afternoon by Justin Mason. Justin, good day. It's actually 71, I'm sorry. But anyway, how you doing?
I'm doing
Damn.
all right. Looking forward to having some sopas tonight, and
Ooh.
this is a good day to have a Mexican wife. So,
Yes,
um,
absolutely.
yeah,
It's always a good day, especially when it's Danielle. She's wonderful.
yeah, yeah. So it's she's sick, but I'll be doing the cooking,
That's
which
good.
is fine. I love the
What do you think of this
shirt.
shirt here?
I love the shirt.
Those of you not
Uh,
watching on YouTube, I've got a Seattle Super Kelnick shirt
mhm.
in the colors of the Mariners, the blue and the yellow, but in the logo of the old Seattle Supersonics with Kelnick going yard. Who's the bigger Kelnick super fan on this show? Me.
I I
I gassed him up all off season, dude. I'm gonna fucking
yeah.
gaslight you so hard on this, dude. I'm gonna make you think that you never talked him up. It's all
I
me.
need that shirt, so I'm gonna have to go over to RotoWear and get that shirt because I don't know if I've ever told you, but like I kind of grew up a Supersonics fan.
Oh,
Um,
I did not know that. Okay, so this
so
is doubly perfect for you then.
my grandfather was friends with the owner of the Supersonics, who was also an owner of the Chargers, and bought in a minority share in the ownership for a little while. I wish he had kept that because
Yeah.
that would probably be worth a lot more money today. Than it was way back when. So like I went to Sonics games and stuff as a young kid when I was up in Washington State visiting family and stuff. And
That's
yeah,
awesome.
love the Sonics. Was bummed when they moved. And so I still have a Vin Baker jersey
That's
that
cool.
probably fits me more like a sports bra than a basketball jersey because it's from back when I was like 8 or 9 or something like that.
Probably fits
Um,
me like a glove. Might be a little
mhm.
short, but probably
I was a big
everywhere else it
Sean
fits.
Kemp fan.
I was gonna say
Um,
that's exactly what I was gonna bring up. NBA Jam.
mhm.
Just his athleticism. Sean Kemp was unreal.
Yeah. So yeah, no, I'm gonna have to go get that. That's I mean, we love RotoWear. I'm wearing my my Justin Mason and Deep Thought T-shirt for
I
those
love that
again
one.
watching over on the YouTube. So
It's
definitely
like
gonna have to go get me a Kelnick, a Super Kelnick.
we both have a billion shirts from them, but when
Yeah,
one comes up that is just perfect, I'm like, I'm getting it.
yeah.
I'm getting it. There's just no way I'm not. And I'm looking now at some others because I went and got the link for you, and I'm like, I got to get off the site because I don't need any ones right
Hmm.
now. But I'll see them and I'll eventually get them. It'll happen. But anyway, it's Friday. We're talking two starts. A little bit of news though. Let's start with somebody that we really like. Talking about gassing fools up during the offseason. We were all over this guy, and the Cubs were just smacking us down left and right. Like every damn transaction they had further put a nail in the coffin of Matt Mervis breaking camp with them. And then it did play out that way. He did not make the team, and in fact spent an entire month down in AAA. But he's finally here. Of course, he's 0 for 2, so we were wrong. We took going to take an L on that. He's just not that good, and we just have to kind of have to eat that. But he did hit well in AAA, 140 WRC plus, great plate skills. I think that's the reason we like him so much. Power, plate skills, everything looks like he should be ready to go right away. He's 25 years old. Obviously, I'm joking about the 0 for 2. Who cares about that? Are you ready to go crazy for Matt Mervis now that he's up?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in a place where I need offense, I think you probably should. I mean, this is a guy that was starting to break into the top 200 in terms of ADP. During draft season, early draft season,
Mm-hmm.
because we did get news in January that they were going to sign everybody and their mom to come, block him off. But the Cubs said today that he's going to he's going to be a regular part of the lineup, that he's going to play every day. That my guess is Hosmer is going to get DFA'd here at some point.
As he should.
Um, yeah, as he should. So if you're looking for power, you're looking for first base. He is the dude right now to go out and get. We're gonna see some other guys come up probably here. Christian Carciano Strand has been crushing it.
Yeah, he's been killing it. 3 homers the other
So
day
he's he
for the Reds.
he's a guy that, like, if you can, like, stash guys, I'd go and stash and Garcia
Definitely.
Strand right now. But if you're looking for a guy who's coming up right now, Matt Morris is the dude.
Yep, and he might not deliver the batting average right away, but there's a world where he also hits for a quality batting average. Like a
Yeah.
270 plus with the power. Matt Mervis has the skills to really be something big, and that Cubs team isn't too bad. I know they actually just had a bad series recently. I forget who beat them. It was a crappy team, the Nats. But overall, like they're kind of an interesting team. In fact, one of their best guys is going right now, Justin Steele. He's pitching into the seventh, 6 1/3 right now with an 80 pitch count. So he's dealing big time right now. One of their division mates, the Pirates, have been, of course, excellent, playing very great baseball. But they were dealt a big blow yesterday when Vince Velasquez left the game early with elbow issue, and he's going to be placed on the IL. Now, he's downplaying it, but that's what players do all the time. So I want to be positive here. I hope he's right. But like I said, this is what players do, like, naturally. Like, their instinct is to say, no, it's good, I'm fine. So we don't really know. I can't read anything off of that with Velasquez. Here's the question. Are we holding? Right elbow inflammation, Vince Velasquez. If you're holding, which leagues? If it's everywhere, you can say that. But if not, delineate, deep league, shallow league. What are you doing with Vince Velasquez? Because he'd been rolling. This just wasn't one good start, two good starts. He'd been on a nice roll. Obviously, I think most people were sitting him against Tampa Bay. And we don't really know. He kind of gets an incomplete there because he left after the third inning. So what are you doing with Velasquez?
I think you're dropping. I mean, this sounds like it is a precursor to Tommy John, which not only would end his season, but it might end his career at this point. I mean,
you think he'd give up at 31? He's only
he's only 31.
Been around for a minute, man. He's been in our fantasy consciousness.
I could have sworn he was like 35, 36 years old.
He's been around for a while. So I think he would ride it out if it was TJ. But so you're cutting Vince Velasquez everywhere. That sounds like an everywhere cut.
I think he is. I mean, he's one of those guys that you just pick up off the waiver wire. You were going to be cutting him at some point anyways when reality caught back up to him. So I tend to think Luis Ortiz,
there's a guy.
He's one of two guys in AAA on the 40-man. He's 29 and a third innings with a 2.45 ERA so far this season. I think he's got to be next man up for this Pirates team, and he was a guy that a lot of people really, really liked. I was surprised he actually got sent down, including myself. Yeah, he's on a lot of my DC teams. So he's one of those guys, if you're looking for kind of an underrated pitching pickup right now, you might want to go grab him because I would assume he's the guy who fills in that spot in the rotation.
Yeah, check out Luis Ortiz for the Pirates. I really like him. I kind of have him on a par with like the Ronzi and the Oviedo. They had some really interesting guys there. I thought Ortiz, now he's got the big walk issues, right? He's kind of that standard pitching prospect, nasty stuff, misses a ton of bats, does have walk issues, which can get him. But when you're difficult to hit, you can kind of make up for some walk issues just by not allowing any hits either. So keep tabs on him, see what they do. I tend to agree with cutting Velasquez. All these pitching prospects have been coming up. There's several this weekend, like in the NFBC specifically, like Bryce Miller. I would cut Velasquez to get Bryce Miller. But even these other guys that we've been talking about over the weeks, if they're starting to make their presence known in your shallower league, and they're out there, Brandon Pfaadt, if he's still available. He was not. He's not available in any main events, but if he's available in your league, you cut Velasquez for him. I agree with you. I think you're making the cut because I'm not sure that you were going to be holding him all year anyway. Liam Hendriks is on official rehab, which is just excellent news in general. We could stop right there and move on, but let's go ahead and put the fantasy spin on it. I cut him last week because I was tired of his bullshit. But you ready to cut Reynaldo Lopez and also Kendall Graveman without incident right now in the leagues where they're still being held?
I mean, I think in deeper leagues you got to hold on to Raylo until.
Why? Seriously, go look at his numbers.
I know what his numbers are, but he's gonna get saves.
I don't think so anymore. He's pitched 8th inning the last.
Who else are gonna go to?
Kendall Graveman.
All right, then I guess.
But that's what I was saying. That's why I brought both of them up, because I thought maybe you would say cut Raylo, keep Graveman for now. Because
that's probably the right move.
Hendriks is just on rehab. He's not going to be ready to save major league games just yet. So I'm not even saying you have to cut both, but I already cut Raylo personally in a 15-team mix without incident because I'm tired of the blow-ups, man. 3 different times, and it just happens to be the happenstance of him pitching on the days that I got these outings. 3 different times I get 2 or 3 good starting outings, and he shit all over him. Mm-hmm. He just diarrhea all over the outings, and I can't get a good. Sorry, I'm being super graphic on a Friday afternoon, but y'all know, anyone that's listened for a long time knows how much I love Raylo. I wanted him to be a thing. I was hoping that this was real, that the bullpen was his spot. The dude is just too hittable. I want to say that it's just a lack of explosion on his fastball, generally speaking. I think that's what it is that his fastball is just too damn hittable. The velo doesn't matter. We say the cliche all the time. Anyone in the majors can time up 97, 98, 99, and it's true if it's straight as an arrow, and that was the case with Raylo. So I'm out on him. What about picking up Hendricks? Obviously, he's not going to be available in, I think, deeper leagues. People are holding or have already purchased him back. But go check your wire. Are you getting ready to scoop Hendricks now? Because I think once he's on rehab, I think this is going to be the weekend to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he is available for some reason in one of your leagues, you need to go grab him. I mean, he's got 30 days from once he starts his rehab, but he's a reliever, so like he could be back next week. I don't think that he will be. I think they're going to give him a little time to make sure his velocity's up and stuff. But like if we get like mid 90s readings next week, he's going to be up very, very soon and go right back to being like a top 5 to 10 closer more than likely. So
he's rostered 100% in the main event. Everyone held on. What about in leagues where he wasn't drafted because, the news was out there that he was dealing with this cancer issue, and so he doesn't get drafted in, like the NFBC, where until they debut, they can't be picked up? How much are you kind of saving to try to get Hendricks? Let's say you are in the saves desperation. You just didn't click with your guys. I don't want to. Who cares? Who you got? Whatever. You're desperate for saves.
Yeah, you drafted Renato Lopez and Michael Fulmer.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You went the double Chicago route, trying to go cheap with it, and it blew up in your face. What are you putting down on a $1,000 budget, which of course you don't have all of anymore? Let's say you have $750 to $800, which is kind of the normal, where most people probably are. What are you saving for Hendricks?
$300.
I think you probably have to go big, and this isn't quite the same gamble as like the prospects, because he's good, and he's gonna be the guy. Yeah. He may not be the guy right away. Like they may say, "Oh, we're gonna start you off in the 6th or 7th inning," but he eventually
just to get your. But like by this time next month, he's their full top 10 closer in baseball, probably top 5 closer in baseball.
Seems like it. Yep.
As long as he's healthy, and we assume they're not. I mean, it's the White Sox. You can't really assume health with them, but
you can't assume anything except the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume he goes back to being top 5, top 10 closer. So yeah, I mean, I think if that's what you need, I think you've got to drop at least $200 to $300, and there are going to be leagues where he goes for like 4 or 5. Like it's
probably so. I mean, I'm looking here, and it looks like in TGFBI he wasn't. Well, actually, I don't know. So he's not available in my league, which means he wasn't drafted in my league. So I can't really look up the roster rate in TGFBI. I'm sure he's being held in some leagues, but because he wasn't drafted in mine, he will be. Liam Hendricks will be available once he debuts this year. So there are going to be leagues like that, and like I said, I've played in other leagues where you can't draft somebody who's on the extended IL for this very reason, so that they can get some.
He's only available in 25% of online championships.
Okay, so a lot of people held on, which I get, because this wasn't a out for the season. There was always a world where Hendricks was going to work his way back. So a lot of people held, and they're going to benefit, of course. But then the people that can purchase him off the waiver wire, this could be a major boon if you need some saves. Because I mean, obviously he's one of the best in the business. So yeah, save your bucks for Hendricks if you need those saves. He could be massive. And then Braden Shoemake, our last bit of news before we get into the 2 steps getting called up. I mean, just further proof that they do not believe in Vaughn Grissom at short, because Shoemake is a worse prospect overall, I believe, but a better fielder. And so he's getting the call. Now, he put up a 79 WRC plus at AAA so far this year, so that's not very good. He's always been a below-average hitter. Does have 5 homers, 9 steals, so a little bit of fantasy juice. But if you're translating a 79 WRC plus to the majors, you're talking like a 60. Maybe he can be better than that. The projections give him an 82 to 79 to 82 range. anything with Braden Shoemake in deep leagues. I think you'd have to be like a 20-team mixer or deeper right now. But how do you feel about Braden Shoemake coming up? And then how do you feel about Vaughn Grissom? Are you going to be cutting him because of this? He's not sent out, by the way. He's still there.
He will be. Yeah, he will be
also,
sent out.
And he also hasn't hit. He has a 57 WRC plus. So what do you think of Shoemake and Grissom based off of this news?
I mean, Shoemake is, hitting for some power in AAA and stealing bases. I think, I don't know that the power is going to translate super well at the major league level, but we know he's got speed and he plays a passable defense. Like, this is how bad they hate Vaughn Grissom and Vaughn Grissom's defense is. Shoemake doesn't profile as like a premium defender or even an above average defender.
He's not
like, if anything, he's
guy.
like, if anything, he's like an average. Shoemake's an average to below average defender.
Yep.
Like, he's been a utility guy for their AAA team, like playing second base and outfield and things like that. So this just tells you like how much they dislike Vaughn Grissom defensively. So I don't know that Shoemake's super interesting for fantasy though. Like, no. Like, is he like any different than, I don't know, like Zack McKinstry? Like, and I know I feel like McKinstry's going to play and now he's leading off and like,
I think he's worse than McKinstry. So to your point, like, I'm not even going for Shoemake over McKinstry, and we don't even know what kind of playing time he's going to get. If they don't send out Grissom, then they're splitting, and you don't want that. If they do send out Grissom, he might be starting every day, but Shoemake will probably be batting 8 or 9. So I don't really see a whole lot of juice here. If he looks better in the majors, we can assess from there, but the minor league track record says this is not going to be your savior.
At best case scenario, like, he's up until the trade deadline, like Shoemake, right? Because the Braves are going to add somebody. Like, somebody's going to get added to this team.
Yeah, and Arcia's going to reassume the role when he returns, and if he is not the guy, they are going to get somebody. I totally agree. So it's either going to be Arcia or a newcomer. It ain't going to be Shoemake, I don't think. If he surprises, I'll come on and say, hey, I got this one wrong. He's great, but I don't think I'm going to have to do that. All right, let me do one last refresh here on Sports Edge to make sure there's no other news. Looks like we got it all. All right, let's continue on then to the two-step pitchers here. Of course, I don't put the guys that are obvious. We don't need to tell y'all that Zack Gallen is a start. So we're looking at guys.
He is a start. You should start.
Remember
when we were worried about Zack Gallen in spring?
How'd that work out? Right? Yeah, how'd that work out? He looks amazing. But his new rotation mate, Brandon Pfaadt, is somebody who isn't in the main in San Francisco.
Sorry, my internet broke up for a second.
I saw that. I got a little circle there. Let me restart that then. Let's go with Brandon Pfaadt here. Home to Miami and San Francisco. Got beat up a bit in Texas with the home runs. Has had some home run issues in the minors. Are you picking up and starting Brandon Pfaadt in shallower formats where he's available? Miami and San Francisco both at home.
Oh man, when I wrote him up, I think on the write-up earlier this week, I was all like, oh, the one issue he has is he can tend to be a tad bit homer prone, and then he just gave up home runs.
Oh, cool.
Home runs left and right. If you can't use him for Miami and San Francisco,
don't pick him up.
Don't pick him up. So I think you should pick him up. I think you should use him.
I agree.
I think that this is like a premium to start situation. Maybe it holds down his fab price.
That's what I was kind of thinking, because we've had so many of these guys come up and put up a gem right away. Bryce Miller, I'm looking at you, and it just raises the freaking price through the roof. I wonder if Pfaadt, Gavin Stone, and Louie Varland might have some muted prices because neither of them exactly killed it on their debut day.
Yeah. So I'm interested in picking him up in places where he's available. But unfortunately for me, I don't know that he's available anywhere.
Because neither of us are playing 12s this year.
I'm playing 12s.
Oh, you are? Okay, and he's already rostered there. Okay, so you guys jumped on him. But my 15s, like, again, 100% rostered in the main event. Other people were on him, and then I guess the one league I do play that's a 12 is the fastest finger anyway, and you don't have to wait. So people were picking him up when there was speculation for Pfaadt.
He's available in 2 of my OCs.
Okay. And I'm
So
going for
that'll be
Pfaadt in 12 teamers. And it is pronounced Pfaadt, as in I fought you.
Oh.
Pfaadt. I saw that on Baseball Reference. I was going with Pfaadt.
He fought the Rangers and he did not win.
He fought the law, and the law won there. The Texas Rangers are based on a law enforcement agency, so the law definitely won that one. Our boy, Kyle Gibson. Listen, process versus results. It was the right move, I think, to stream him at KC. He was pitching well, but streamers are inherently risky. He dropped 6 on your face there with 10 hits. That's the risk of streaming Kyle freaking Gibson. He gets Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. This is not one up, one down the way it would be, coming into the year. You get Tampa Bay, who's amazing, and then you get Pittsburgh, who's playing pretty damn well. I think this is an easy sit, even though both are at home. I'm not picking up Gibson.
Yeah, I'm not playing that one. Stay away from it.
And I'd be open to cutting him if I had him for KC. He failed me. I'm not going to ride it out for the 2-step. I'm going to go ahead and cut him and pick up somebody else.
Yeah.
All right, we've never talked about this guy as a 2-step. We've never had any disagreements. Kyle Freeland at Pittsburgh, home to Philly. You know what's funny? These were the same 2 teams that he faced. Reversed, though. Pittsburgh at home and a trip to Philly. And you were like adamant, do not. The funny thing is, and I took the L, that was his worst start of the year. That one bad start against Pittsburgh. He then went and was fine in Philly and has been great since. So I had to bring him back up again and say, do you dare start Kyle Freeland at Pittsburgh and home to Philly?
Absolutely not. We don't usually do the clear, obvious no's, but Philadelphia in Colorado? Absolutely not. You're also talking about a Pittsburgh team which has the 3rd highest WRC plus against left-handed pitching this year.
Yep.
Philadelphia
already smoked him. They put the 9 runs, 7 earned on him. And I will say this, because I agree with you. I'm not going to start Kyle Freeland either. I'm not making the same case I did last time. The reason you sit him, and I've had this opinion for a while. I just lost my head a little bit there recommending Freeland. It's not because you're trying to get the 6 innings, 2 runs, or 6 innings, 3 runs. Like you're okay giving that up. You're desperately trying to avoid the 2 2/3, 7 earned. Yeah. And that's always in play with a Colorado starter. And that's why you sit anybody who isn't a superstar in Colorado. I still start my superstars there, but this is why you sit people in Colorado, because you're trying to avoid this. And Kyle Freeland is always going to have a few of those, because even as good as he is in Colorado, and he has had some pretty decent numbers, this is always a possibility. So I agree, no Kyle Freeland.
The problem with a guy like Kyle Freeland is the lack of strikeouts limits the upside anyways. And so now you've got a huge downside and a kind of a small upside. I'm just not interested in that.
It's a great point. Couldn't agree more. And that's why it's a no. I learned my lesson. Michael Lorenzen had a really good outing against the Mets, but I'm wondering if we have to take stock out of that, because while they are a quality team that I think we both believe will at least be in playoff contention, if not making the playoffs, they've not been hitting well. And he steamrolled them for 7 innings, 1 run, 4 hits, 2 walks, but only 1 strikeout. He too lacks the dominance that you want. It hasn't been great otherwise, but Michael Lorenzen does get at Cleveland and home to Seattle, which is not too bad of matchups. One in Cleveland, which is an okay place to pitch, and then home to Seattle, also an okay place to pitch. Are you taking a deep league shot on Michael Lorenzen anywhere?
He's been good every other start.
So you're going to get 1 good, 1 bad here?
Yeah. I don't like Michael Lorenzen. Mike Lorenzen was fun when he could hit.
Yeah.
You got the occasional home run from,
he's always been a more fun real life player. And he's a cerebral guy. I like the way he thinks about the game. I root for him. Obviously, he's on my favorite team now, but I can't pull the trigger on that. There's just not enough. Okay, we don't have to spend too much time there. The 2 Royals, one of them no, but I included him because he's on there too. Zack Greinke and Jordan Lyles, home to the White Sox and at Milwaukee. For me, Greinke's basically Kyle Freeland in a better environment, because the upside just isn't high enough for me to take on the risk of the downside. I think the downside is just as big, though, even though he doesn't even pitch in Colorado. So I'm a hard no on both, but I want to see what you think on Greinke specifically.
I just don't think there's enough upside. Again, this is one of those guys you root for in real life because he's just weird and fun and
he's great.
Kind of a jerk, but one of the jerks we love. But Yeah, I'm not. I don't want him on my fantasy team.
I will freely admit I desperately hate this show, but not this show that we're on. I love this show, but The Big Bang Theory. Zach
Mhm.
Greinke is like the Sheldon of MLB.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the best way I can
It's the
describe it.
old I think Dane Cook joke. I'm pretty sure it was Dane Cook. It's like, every group has, a Zack. I can't remember what the name he uses. And if you don't have a Zack, then you're the Zack. It's
Do
the
you
friend that
know?
everybody loves to hate,
It's crazy that you can't remember what the name is because
It's Karen, isn't it?
it is fucking
Yeah.
like he started that.
Mhm.
And look,
That's what I thought, but I couldn't remember if it was or
got
not.
plenty of critiques of Dane fucking Cook. Dude, that guy sucks out loud. He's dating like a toddler, or he's married to one now. It's like so bizarre. But I'll be damned if I'm going to lie to y'all and tell you I didn't play Harmful If Swallowed on repeat. I was the target demo when it came out, a douchey little teenager thinking that shit was funny. He had some bangers on there, including coming up with the Karen thing. Like, I don't know if he's credited for it, but it was Karen. Everyone has a Karen. And he was talking about how you're fake to them when they come around. Oh, what's up, Karen? How's it going, Karen?
Yeah.
But then when they leave, like, Karen is such an asshole.
Fucking hate Karen.
Yeah.
I've had like, those I think we talked about it. Like, I got lucky when we were Danielle and I were in New York for Tout, and we saw Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan.
So sick.
Many years ago, I was at I was at the Comedy Store in LA with, I think it was with Danielle, and two comics, same thing, where they're like, oh, we had two comics walk in that wanted to do sets kind of at the end of the hour. And it was Bob Saget and Dane Cook. And Dane Cook did an hour. Like, it was like a 10 o'clock show. It was already midnight when he stepped up, and he did an hour. And it was great. Like, he was really, really good. It was the height of, like, Dane Cook being Dane Cook.
Yeah.
But, man, Bob Saget just stole the show. Like,
dude, Bob Saget, rest in peace, man. He will never be forgotten in my family. My sister wanted to go to his comedy show, and I just gotten off, like, several trips. And I was like, nah, I'm just taking the weekend off. I can't. I'm sorry. We'll go to him next time. And then he passed away.
Oh, no.
And so now she's like, if I ask you to see somebody, we have to go see them because they might pass away. So I'm smiling. I'm not like taking happiness in his passing, but it's like, it is one of those things where you're like, you do never know.
I'll tell you, when I saw him, I had no idea about like how he was as a comedian. When he came up, and they were like, Bob Saget. And I was like, I'm thinking Full House.
You're thinking Danny Tanner, baby, American Funniest Videos.
Home videos, yeah. And he comes up and he did like a good 20, 30-minute set of just like the most disgusting, vile stuff. Yep. And it was
he
fantastic.
Is the most vulgar. And he's great. Rest in peace, Bob Saget. He was super hilarious. Yeah. It wasn't that I wasn't interested in seeing him. It was just like one of those things, right? We'll get him next time. And then he passed, and it was just unbelievable. But anyway, back to the two steps here. Braxton Garrett, oh my God, did he wear that one in Atlanta? And the interesting thing is he had the 7-run inning. They tried to let him kind of work through it, and he dropped another 4-run inning. So he ends up with an 11 earned run outing there in Atlanta. And obviously he's going to be working that one off for a long time because, and this is my thing, we talk about how one bad start can erase 2-3 good ones. Depending how bad it is, it can erase 5 good ones. He had a 2.45 ERA going into that game, and now has a 5.81, and it's going to take a long time to work that one off. So you're going to have to game log Braxton Garrett to get an idea of where he's at. If you're just looking at his ERA, it's going to be shit for a minute. Are you getting back on the saddle? Because he's been a favorite. People been enjoying the Braxton Garrett experience, generally speaking, dating back to last year. Trip to Arizona, home to Cincinnati. Are you going to trust him after the mega dud?
Yeah, I think I am.
Me too.
Arizona has been middle of the pack against lefties. Cincinnati is towards the bottom of the pack against lefties. You're not having to go to Cincinnati. That one's at home. Arizona's not a bad place to pitch. Yeah, I think this is a pretty easy 2-step.
Yep, I'm back in, and frankly, I'm hoping that he's dropped some spots. I hope people got panicked about Braxton Garrett in leagues where you can make moves, day in, day out. I wouldn't be surprised if he fell on the wire because somebody sees an 11 bomb and they're like, F this and they insta-cut him, I'm going to go ahead and go pick up Braxton Garrett and start him for
Yeah.
this two-step. I agree. Louie Varland, I mentioned him earlier, didn't have, and it wasn't the debut, sorry, but it was the first start where he was kind of front and center on the radar as a potential pickup because now that Tyler Molly's gone down, he's going to get an opportunity. It was his second start of the year. The first one was better, but that was back in mid-April. That was a spot start. So this one was 4 2/3, 7 hits, 2 walks, 4 earned, 6 strikeouts for Louie Varland. I'm not deterred by that. It was a tough start. Chicago has been terrible this year, but they're not a terrible offense. And it was a bad first inning with a 3-run homer to Luis Robert. He was fine from then on. I kind of believe, I believe in Louie Varland. I'm picking him up. I'm starting him here. It's San Diego and the Cubs at home. What do you think of Louie Varland and where are you starting him if you are?
Oh, I don't think I am starting.
Ooh, you are less interested in Varland.
The Cubs have been really, really good against right-handed pitching, and they've kind of got some sneaky power. The Padres are just a stacked lineup. Soto seems to be coming back to life.
Yep, looking better.
I don't think I want to play with this one. You're
not
the
sold on
homer-prone
the
issues. Yeah,
on the new velo and some secondary tweaking. He was great in AAA. I don't know. I think okay. Well, I know we say the whole if you can't start him in a two-step, you shouldn't have him. This is
and I don't think. I mean, in a 15-team league, I think maybe you can make the argument. But like in 10s and 12s, you're gonna have other options, and I'd rather have one really good start than two, starts that could go poorly in both. So, and Matt Mervis is 0 for 3 and about to be 0 for 4.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
I'm behind. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're never ahead of me. I thought he just made an out. No, he almost got hit by that one by Tanner Scott. So okay, Louie Varland's a no for you. He's a yes for me. Now you did say 15s you could see it, 10s no. What about the middle?
Yeah.
What about 12s? Where you stand there, right in the middle?
I don't think I'm doing it in 12s. I just think there are going to be other options for you.
Are you putting them on your list, on your waterfall? In those 10s and 12s. Base hit, Matt Mervis. 1 for 4, baby.
I think I'm a little bit behind then. So let's see. Oh, yeah, here it is. Okay, there you go.
Nice little 2-run rip right there.
Little 88-mile-an-hour meatball in the center of the zone. There you go. Take advantage. That's what we got to do. Take advantage of it.
I was going to say, yeah, lefty, you get a little hanging meatball like that for your
Get an
first
RBI on that, yeah. So
yeah. Well, 1 ribby. I thought it was 2. My bad.
Oh, no, it was 2. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, nicely done, Matt Mervis. So, are you putting Varland on your waterfall? Because you're saying there's going to be other options, right? There could be Pfaadt. There could be Gavin Stone. There could be
there could just
Bryce
be options
Miller.
on your team.
There could be other options, yeah. But if you're going for pickups in the 10s and 12s specifically, because I think you have to put them on your list in 15s.
I think
probably
in
not
12s in 12s for sure. 10s, I think it's really dependent on what else is out there.
Okay.
I mean, like we're in that 10-team Yahoo league, and you look at like what's available on the wire, and you're like, oh no, I don't think he even registers in a lot of 10s.
I think with the 2-step he kind of does, but generally speaking, I get your point.
But not if you're not going to use them. So like,
well,
if you're
I'm going to use him. You're not, so that's where we differ. I would use. I'm
going to the waiver wire in it's a Yahoo league, right? So it's a little bit, thicker waiver wire. So let's see, going and looking of guys who were available.
This is a 12-team though. Our head-to-head.
Oh, a 12. Okay, it's a 12-team Yahoo, right? Sean Mania has a pretty good start, I believe.
We're gonna get to him.
Week. Okay.
Oh wait, no, sorry, he's not a 2-step. Never mind. But he gets who does he get? Oh, I wrote him up today because he pitches today. So, but next week Sean Mania gets, pardon me, Washington.
I'd rather. Yeah, but they also and they hit lefties well, so maybe not Mania. But Drew Smiley's available in that league.
Okay, I do like Drew Smiley. I would put him above that. Bryce Elder's available in that league. I like Bryce Elder.
Jose Suarez is available. Tyler Anderson's available.
I would take Varland ahead of both of those guys.
Bryce Elder,
Bybee and Bryce Miller are available in that league.
Yeah, I'm taking both of those guys over him.
That's
especially
fine.
Now Zack. Please, Zack is gone.
I love that. By
I was
the way,
surprised that they did that.
Good though. We say it, like we're saying, like, oh, how can somebody like that outlast these two quality rookies? I think sometimes we say that thinking that the team won't agree. We're resigned to it. Like, oh, they're not even gonna cut the right guy here. But they did. They moved him down, and I love it. I think it's huge that they actually did what I believe is the right move.
So let's see. We've got just looking at like the Angels. Anderson has at Cleveland. I'd rather take one game of Tyler Anderson at Cleveland
over two from Louie Varland.
Yeah, because they could be two bad ones. Like,
I mean, Tyler Anderson hasn't done shit this year. I don't know, man. I think he might be selling Varland a little short. Plus, I'm starting to treat Miami or Minnesota rather like a little bit of a pitching factory. They make moves. They make moves on guys, and I'm starting to really appreciate what they're able to do with their pitchers.
Carlos Carrasco is going to be is going to be pitching at Washington. Would you rather have Carlos Carrasco?
No.
On a one? No? Okay.
I would not. So yeah, I'm pretty keen on Louie Varland there.
Yeah, I'm not as keen. So
I understand some trepidation. I don't think you're completely out of pocket, especially in the shallower formats that you're saying it. But I do think that he could be a surprising quality guy here. What about Clarke Schmidt? He's shown flashes in every one of his outings. I feel like if you're watching him, of pieces of what he can do, this is the ultimate one up, one down. Oakland and Tampa Bay, both at home for Clarke Schmidt. Where do you stand? In what leagues would you be starting him, if any?
Oh, man, it's so hard because that is like, the real battle of good versus evil in terms of Tampa Bay versus and Oakland. I think if you've got Oakland, you've got to roll with it, right? Oh,
it's really hard to give up an Oakland start, but you are running completely to the opposite end of the spectrum with freaking.
This feels like one of those ones where he could have like 6 innings and a third with 1 earned run versus Oakland, and then 2 1/3 versus Tampa, where it gives up 7 runs. So
together, it's a loss.
Yeah. I feel like you have, and in 15s you definitely have to do it. In 10s, I don't think you have to. But I think 10s definitely you can are going to be you can be intrigued, and in 12s, I think it really depends on what your other options are.
12s, I think it's like a 55 yes, 45 no type of deal, depending on what you got available. What about JP Sears, the guy who will probably be opposing him in that first start there? He has New York, and home to Texas. JP Sears had a quality outing last time out, had that 11 strikeout game a couple starts ago. He's shown some flashes here and there, but his win probability is, negative. But is there enough here?
They've still yet to get a win for a starter this year.
It is literally a negative win probability.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say JP Sears wins a game in this 2-step and becomes the first Oakland. I really like JP Sears.
Yes. Me too. I got him on my main.
The homers can be an issue, but he's only given up 2 homers in total in his last 3 starts. It's a good park to pitch in. I don't think you're afraid of the Yankees lineup right now. So
no,
I think this is a really good spot to stream JP Sears and then potentially hold on to him. So
you're taking the shot here?
I think I'm taking the shot on JP Sears.
I certainly like the pickup of JP Sears here. Yeah, I think I would. Like, why am I picking up for a 2-step if I can't use it?
He's gone 6 innings in 3 of his last 4 starts.
So the one bad inning against the Angels too. It was a 5-run inning. It just got away from him. And again, the reason I bring that up is I do think that matters more than getting beaten up 3-4 innings. If you just have one bad inning, it's I think it's just more correctable. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. But when it's isolated problems, I'm like, okay, I think that's workable for a guy.
22 strikeouts in his last 3 starts. I'm here for that.
Love that. Keep the ball in the yard, and he can have some success. Mitch Keller gets Colorado at home and a trip to Baltimore. Love that setup. This is more for shallow leagues. I think he's an automatic start in 15s right now on a 2-step. What do you think of Mitch Keller in 12s and 10s?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty much a must start most times out. I think you want to avoid the Dodgers and teams like that, but
you got lucky against the Rays if you went for it because it was 4 unearned runs.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, at this point, Mitch Keller, I think is pretty much used. like when I do my 2-step article after we finish recording for Fantasy Pros, he'll be in the should start. Like they're probably going to be a league or two where you don't start him, but for the most part, he's going to be started every time out.
Yeah, that's because your pitching is explosive. Then if you're having the ability to not start him, Michael Wacha at Minnesota at the Dodgers. It's a dicey little setup there, but he is a streamer. I mean, he's just as classic of a streamer as it gets.
I'm not messing with Dodgers. Not with Michael Wacha.
Me neither. I don't know that we need much more analysis than that. Like I said, he is a spot starter that you can slot in here and there, but the risk is too high here. I'm not going for him. I'm not even putting him in the waterfall. Anthony DeSclafani is kind of in that Mitch Keller range where 15's kind of locked and loaded right now, but he gets Washington and a trip to Arizona. Are we starting DeSclafani in shallow leagues right now?
I think you're starting him everywhere. I think he is a must start right now. I just he is pitching so well. I do worry about the Giants defense because they're still having defensive problems, but it only seems to really happen when Webb and Cobb are on the mound. Yeah. So, but Cobb's pitched his way through it. Webb just has not.
Maybe it's because DeSclafani's not as heavy of a ground ball guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Although he's actually.
I don't know. Did you watch that? You watch that Webb start? I mean, it was the outfield that was screwing him. Like it was.
Oh no, I didn't see his last one. I mean, but he, like you said, he's been working his way through it. Webb's having a wonderful season. The K's are back up. A little bit of a home run issue, but still, he's working his way through everything. He looks great. But yeah, DeSclafani I think is an everywhere start and everywhere pickup. He's only 77% rostered at Yahoo. I say only because I think it should be 100.
Yeah,
somebody. The pitching's not good enough to where DeSclafani should be on a waiver wire. Miles Mikolas at the Cubs and at Boston. He's done. His last start was pretty good if I recall correctly. Let me see here. 5 2/3, 3 runs against the Angels. It was the start before that, 6 1/3 scoreless against your Giants. Hasn't allowed more than 3 in any of his last 4 starts after allowing 5, 5, and 6 to start the year. So he's been more Miles Mikolas-esque in the last 4 starts, a 3.13 ERA. Is he back and you're comfortable starting him, or do you still have some concerns just because of the stink that's on St. Louis right now? I would start Mikolas personally.
I think I'm going to start him, but I can understand wanting to skip it because, I mean, he has gotten hurt by the lessening of the shift, and because it's such a huge ground ball tilt, and
most
the upside
in
just
baseball.
Yeah, and the upside just isn't as great because he doesn't strike out guys at a prodigious rate. His strikeout rate is fine, especially over the last 4, but it's not
getting wins now either.
Yeah, now
you're so crappy.
So I can understand wanting to skip it, but at the same time, I think in most formats, like 12s and 15s at least, you're probably rolling them out.
Yep. I think that's where I'm at with Mikolas as well. There might be a situation where your team's good enough to avoid it, and if so, good on you. But if you drafted him and you're still holding him, you probably go with this one. John Gray and Andrew Heaney both get at Seattle and at Oakland. I know they got some name value that you're like, well, why are we even including them? Well, Gray specifically has had a lot of issues, and Heaney had been fine pretty much up until this last one. He was also in that game against Pfaadt and got murked himself, bunch of homers. That was just an explosion of offense between the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. So the homer bug has come back to get Heaney. He allowed 2 on opening day, 0 for 3 straight starts, and then 5 in these last 2 outings. So let's start with Gray, who's just been pretty modest overall. 4.40 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. Are you going with him? And again, it's at Seattle and at Oakland.
I feel like John Gray's hurt. To me, everything screams like, the velocity's down. He's walking guys. He's not being able to command things inside of the zone.
2 strikeouts in each of the last 4 for John Gray. What?
Yeah, I feel like John Gray's hurt. There's something. It feels like there's something going on.
So you're not going for this one then?
No, and I mean Heaney. I guess you could probably do it because you get that Oakland start. So
Seattle not hitting the ball really well either.
Yeah, I mean J-Rod's been banged up. A number of the other guys,
lefties, by the way,
outside of Jared Kelenic,
that guy's good. Good.
Yeah, that guy's.
I like that. I liked him. I don't want to brag too much.
I have to give you credit for getting me on him. I'd never heard of him.
You were saying Kelenic for his name. I had to put you on, man. Seattle is second to last in WOBA against lefties. for the year.
There
By
you
the
go.
way. So
Mm-hmm.
I would start Heaney. I probably would not start Gray even with the Oakland start.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
There's a 15 team world where I'm desperate enough. If I'm just chasing pitching right now, maybe, but that's about it for John
Mm-hmm.
Gray. It's just the name value is that could mislead you right now. And then the last guy is Washington's Jake Irvin. He's a rookie, just made his debut this week. Did fine in that debut. I mean, 4 1/3, 1 run, but 4 walks, 3
Yeah.
strikeouts. Not really much of a prospect. He's 26 years old. Wanted to include him just in case you had a read on him that I'm unfamiliar with. At San Francisco, home to the Mets. What do you think of righty pitcher? I don't even want to say prospect. He's not really a prospect. Jake Irvin for the Nats.
I mean, you probably could do worse, but you're probably also not going to get a win here. It is Washington. The Giants,
and it could go poorly.
Giants are better against righties and lefties, so like, and the Mets like could wake up and just crush him. So probably not. He's going to be in my only unless you're desperate tier of my 2-star article.
Yeah, I think we're talking like the 18 team mixed league type stuff.
Yeah,
considering Jake Irvin.
NL only. Yeah,
I'm avoiding this. Otherwise, can't really get behind it. So, all right. So there's an interesting group out there. There's a lot of players to pick up. Happy streaming. It's always difficult. By the way, Mark Leiter Jr. Got the save.
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
It's very interesting. He struggled a little bit in the outing, and Michael Fulmer had a 7-pitch 8th inning. I still believe Michael Fulmer's getting this job back at some point.
Okay, because that's what I was going to ask next. Yeah, he got the hold in the 8th. Really came in, diced him up, not bringing him out for the 2 innings. Okay, well, I guess I'll hold my Fulmer shares where I got him. But anyway, that'll wrap it up.
I think it's a fluid situation. I think
Yeah.
Bachberger's going to be in. I think Fulmer's going to be in. Obviously, Leiter is going to be in a little bit here. But ultimately, if one of them emerges, I think it's going to be Fulmer.
Would you pick up Leiter in any format right now?
15-team mixed, I think, yeah.
Okay.
If I mean, he's going to factor in. And, I mean, Boxberger's like 80. And we've already seen Michael Fulmer like struggle at times. So I mean, there's a chance where Leiter becomes a guy.
15% swinging strike rate and 41% K rate for Mark Leiter Jr. this year. Not a dominant pitcher. Throws 91, so it's probably his secondary stuff that's really tuned up right now. He's never had numbers like that. He was at 12% and 26% swinging strike and K rate last year. So this is a big jump. If there's something there with the bat missing, maybe he gets in this picture even more than I thought. So yeah, Mark Leiter Jr. Keep tabs on him. What do you got planned for Sunday?
I think I'm recording with Jason. I gotta pull in a guest too. So, but I haven't had a chance to do that. I've been trying to avoid the sickness that keeps going around my house.
While also trying to take care of your fam.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is about my wife and my kids and their like crappy immune systems. So
get these baby immune systems out of my face, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I should have something going on Sunday with Jason and potentially a guest. So definitely we'll be talking fat pickups for the weekend.
All right, sounds great. And I'll talk to you later.
Take it easy.